Was the PTS testing any good? Let's get into it. So on Tuesday, the 18th of February, there was a big test in Cyrodiil on the PTS, and everyone went to Castle Robeck basically just to have a fight, and it was really great fun. But I'll get into all the details and stuff, and they just wanted to gather some data, and some of the devs were also planning to join. They said bring out your best gear and have fun. So it was all on the PTS, so I'll get into all the stuff about what happened, how it felt, etc., and also a few other things as well that I want to talk about. So make sure you don't miss it, guys, and we'll get straight into the footage I've got of me on the PTS during the test. There was a few well-known faces as well, so I'll let you guys know which people were there. So here we are, guys. We are on the PTS. I was actually rocking a werewolf build because it was just a PTS and it was just something I had to hand. I didn't actually have a build prepared as such, to be honest. It was just a couple of random builds that I'd been testing. Mostly were PvE, and this was basically the only PvP one I could just slap together really quickly that I already had. Just made a few little adjustments. So I just jumped straight into it. I didn't really know what was going on. I didn't know if I was even actually going to join the PTS, as I thought it was going to be off time for me, but I must have misread the actual initial post, and I was around at that time. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to get into it and just see what happens. Yeah, so first I'll say and talk about the performance. So the performance I felt was actually quite okay. So I didn't really have any issues as such. As you can see from the footage, it was quite a lot of players. It was not full. The campaigns were definitely not full. I would say there probably was about half full. But my personal opinion is that the performance was pretty good. I didn't really notice any huge lag spikes. There was a couple of small instances, but other than that, it wasn't too bad. But having said that, like I said, it wasn't completely maxed out. There just wasn't enough players. There was a lot of players, but there just wasn't enough to really stress test it, in my opinion. So even though it was fun and there was a lot of players, I don't think it was enough to, really get the full potential of the data they required. But like I said, having said that, there was quite a lot of players, but just probably not enough as they was probably hoping for. But it's the most I've ever seen on a PTS. So next we'll get into, was it a lot of fun or was it rubbish? I actually found it to be quite a lot of fun. I don't really do tons of open world Cyrodiil anymore, but it was definitely refreshing and fun to join back in and just have a crack in loads of zergs and just having crazy random fights. Was definitely a lot of fun, and like I said, the performance was fairly smooth, not better than what I would say it normally is. So it was definitely a lot of fun I had. Also, stay tuned at the end, guys, because I will be revealing what build I'm actually using. I will do a full breakdown if you're interested on this werewolf build, as it was performing fairly well. I just did get destroyed there by like 20 people, but it was quite a solid werewolf build, quite tanky and quite powerful with the damage. So I did have quite some success with it. It's probably the first time I've been on werewolf in quite a while, but I did use the main werewolf. So stick around to the end of the video, guys, and I will reveal what sets I was running and stuff and the full breakdown. So we'll also get into who was actually in the open world PTS testing, so what names I recognised, and there probably was ones that I might have missed or I just don't know. So the first one I noticed was HyperXes. I think that's how you pronounce his name. I've never actually heard him say his own name. Really good content creator. I also did see Epic as well, which is also a really well-known content creator. I did see, I think it's Artea was another one that I see. I'm just trying to think of a few of the other ones I did see. There was definitely some more. I Be the Ninja was another one. So there was definitely some familiar faces that a lot of players will know, particularly if you're on YouTube quite a lot. There was definitely a lot of people testing things out. So yeah, it was definitely a lot of fun. Like I said, there was probably more names that other players might know, but I didn't know or just can't think of off the top of my head if I knew them or not, or if they were just well-known players within the game. But yeah, so, and also I'll get into now, was there actually any developers? Because it did say on the actual message that they sent that the developers may be joining or will be joining. And to be honest, I don't think I see any game developers. I might have missed them, but to be honest, I don't think there was any, because I suppose if they dropped in, they'd be just ganked. I don't know. But it was, to me, it would just look like content creators and just random players just giving it a crack. So yeah, like, I don't think there was any of Zenimax at all. I couldn't see any. Maybe they were there, maybe they weren't. I wasn't there for the full show. I was there for a big chunk of it, and it was all focused in, because obviously Cyrodiil open world is quite a large map, but they said to go to Castle Robeck, which it looks like where everyone actually was. So I went there and I didn't see anyone of note that was like a game developer, because I do think they do have a special thing on their name, but I didn't see anyone. So yeah. So next we're going to get into what was a lot of players actually playing. And to be honest, I suppose because they did announce this, I should have prepared a little bit better with some different types of other builds. I was thinking of coming in as a healer, and I probably wish I should have done, because a lot of other players did come in as sort of like heal bots and tanks, and actually in full-blown groups. So that's why it was particularly challenging for me. I was just running around randomly like a chicken going crazy. But it was, like I said, it was still a lot of fun. But yeah, there was a lot of ball groups and stuff, which was to be expected. So there was people grouping up, which was nice. It just was a lot of sort of like stalemate fights as such. But there was a lot of healers. There was a lot of people doing tons of healing. So there was a lot of fights that went on for a very long time. But yeah, I was just basically just running around, just trying to hit players and stuff. Was really, really good fun. And next, I'll get into some gameplay commentary. So, as you can see here, there a lot of them was coming through the door. I was on blue, so there was a huge group of yellows. I didn't see a lot of red, the Ebonheart packs. It was mostly blue and yellow. I'm not sure why. There was some reds, definitely, but definitely not as many. It was more the Daggerfall and the Aldemiri Dominion. So, like I said, I was just fighting everyone as much as I could. It was just total chaos, as you can see here. I don't think they was strictly trying to break down the main door. It was just sort of like the front door, just so they could have access to the keep. So as you can see here, I'm just sort of, I was zerging a bit, because I think it was just all totally random. I wasn't strictly going after people 1v1. You was just sort of, I think the sheer amount of players, it was just absolute chaos. Eden Prime, that was another one, I think is a content creator. So yeah, there was this group here, which were definitely doing an absolute ton of healing, was definitely a group. They were, yeah, really pumping out some crazy healing, so it was really, really struggling here to put anyone down. But we did manage to get a few of them. There was definitely some crazy, crazy heals going on. So I was managing to sort of keep the pressure up a little bit on my werewolf. So I managed to secure a few kills. But like I said, I did get obviously help from a lot of other players as well. So I was just sort of bouncing around in this sort of zone here, trying to just get some kills. And like I said, there were some very, very good players as well. Because it was on the PTS, guys, you wasn't really getting any sort of noob players. It was all sort of players on the PTS. It's going to be players that are very, very good. So it was definitely difficult to secure kills, because I'm not like the best PvPer in the world. I just consider myself as sort of an average PvPer. But having said that, I did get some kills. But yeah, like I said, there wasn't really any. There was a few players that I probably did just nuke really quickly. And I did think, are they PvPers? Because you might have had some PvEers come in just to see what it was like. But yeah, it was definitely a lot of fun. There was another group here on the top of this tower here. I think there was a couple of names I might have recognised as well. So I didn't want to go up there because I was on my own almost, and there was about 5 or 6 of them. So I was just trying to sort of get their attention and then drop back down because they had some crazy hill scan as well. They were doing a few sieging as well just to try and get everyone else's attention, and they were just keeping on top of that tower. And I thought, I think I accidentally dropped down there, to be honest. And I was just trying to get some. I think I did get help after a couple of minutes, and then we started trying to take out a few more players. I do recognise that player's name as well. Again, was a very, very good player, and I don't think I was actually able to catch him. There was actually a couple of other werewolf players as well, which was nice to see. I wasn't the only werewolf, because normally you don't see a lot of werewolf players, but there was actually probably about 4 or 5 werewolf players, which was nice to see. But like I said, I was completely solo. I wasn't in any groups. And so we're just going to work on them now. There was a couple of extra players just to get some pressure on them, but they were definitely pumping out some crazy heals. Looks like someone might have had Rush of Agony there or Dark Convergence as they were just all pulled on top of one another. So as they were starting to weaken, that was when I could start putting the pressure on. I just got a kill there. Like I said, I don't think I got tons of kills. I just probably just grabbed the odd kill here and there. But yeah, this group was definitely crumbling after there was some pressure being applied. But like I said, as you can see, there wasn't any red players about. It was literally just the blue and the yellow. There was not a lot of red, but they did start coming after a while. There were some red players as well. So I was just devouring some corpses there just to keep the werewolf going. As far as I could tell, the werewolf was going indefinitely. I didn't have to actually ever recharge the werewolf ultimate. It was just kept going, which did surprise me. I did think it was going to drop off, but like having said that, I was in pretty much almost constant combat. But every time I did die and respawn, it was still going, which I was quite surprised about. So yeah, but it was obviously with werewolf, it does continue the more you devour, and I think as long as you remain in combat, then it continues almost indefinitely, which is really, really good. So it's only if you die and you've got sort of like a long run. But I did die a couple of times and had to like run back to Castle Robeck, and it was still going. So yeah, it's really, really good werewolf build I've got for you here, guys. I will be showcasing what I was running. So as you can see, I'll talk about the build a little bit. So it's a very, very high health, tanky werewolf build that I've put together, incorporating some sort of commonly used sets. As you can see, I am using a very well known set there with the green glow. It's just a brilliant set that works on a variety of different types of builds and just gives unique damage done bonus. So now I'll get into the actual build, guys. Like I said, it was retaining really high health with good resistances and still packing a punch as well. So a definitely well balanced werewolf build, as it's very difficult to balance the damage and the sort of tankiness with wolf. It either goes glass cannon or just hitting like a wet noodle basically. So I feel like I had a fairly good balance here. So I'm going to show you guys the stats. So I had all 64 points into health. You can see I had 49k health, which is really, really good, 31k stamina and 21k magicka. Sorry for the screenshot, guys, it's literally all I had. Also, the weapon damage would probably top out around 6k. Penetration with the debuffs is probably looking around the 14k region, which is very, very nice. So now we'll get into the sets. I've just done a quick recording of this. So this is from the PTS. So I was running a great sword of the Essence Thief with an absorb magicka enchantment, but probably weapon damage would probably be your best bet in sharpened. And the next piece I was wearing was the War Poets a really, really great set. Gives you an absolute ton of health and also some armor. I had the head in heavy in a tri-stat enchantment, so it was good there. And I also had the War Poet's Cuirass, so that was also heavy tri-stat. They were both reinforced as well, as you can't actually see from this clip, but they were both reinforced. The shoulders were Poet's Pauldron, again tri-stat in heavy, and this was impenetrable. I run the Sash of the Trainee tri-stat. This was also impenetrable. So just one piece there, just for a line of the max health. I had the braces of the Essence Thief, hands medium, and that is tri-stat as well, impenetrable. I had heavy War Poet's Greaves tri-stat, that was reinforced. And the feet were also the War Poet, which was tri-stat, reinforced, heavy. And the necklace of the Essence Thief with a weapon damage enchantment, and that was healthy. And the Ring of the Essence Thief, that was triune with a weapon damage enchantment, and the Oaken Soul, triune with a weapon damage enchantment. So that's the gear, guys, incorporating two really good sets. The Essence Thief, which gives you that unique damage done bonus, and also the return on the stamina. As I wasn't pushing high recoveries on this because I was totally reliant on the Essence Thief, but it does return health and stamina, and also gives you that unique 10% damage done bonus. So even though the weapon damage isn't super high on this build, it's probably topping out around the 6k, but you're also getting that extra 10% on top of it, which does not show on the stat sheet. So again, the recoveries weren't super high, but you were sort of retaining some of it through the Essence Thief. And again, the tankiness is coming from the War Poet. So the War Poet will provide the armor and the max health. And the penetration was really good as well. So it was around 15k, which is sort of typical for a werewolf build. I was also an Orc race, and it was also a Templar. A Templar and Orc is probably one of the best combinations for Werewolf. As Templar, you do get the Burning Light passive, which is going to give you that bonus damage, which is really, really nice. The Orc gives you the bonus damage, and also you get a nice movement speed buff as well, which is really, really great. So, like I said, then because I was running a lot of heavy armor, that extra movement speed bonus was really good. So I'm going to get back into some commentary, guys. I hope you enjoy the build. It's a very, very strong werewolf build. It's not easy to make a good werewolf build, as like I said, they always sometimes come off as a glass cannon or just, tanky and just hit like a wet noodle. And this was, like I said, a very nice combination. But again, werewolves always do seem to be targeted. I don't know if I was being targeted either as well, because obviously maybe players recognise my name, but I think I did actually go down here. I was just trying to take this group. It was just a very, very good group with very, very good players. So I was struggling somewhat, and I'm pretty sure I do go down here. I was just taking too much punishment. But yeah, guys, like I said, it's a really good werewolf build overall. It does a lot of damage, and you're all going to be very, very tanky. So yeah, but I'll get back into just the commentary of this video, as it's quite a long video. So obviously they've got a camp here, as you can see. So they were just, if anyone was actually dying on the yellow side, they were just respawning. And I think we was just eventually getting whittled down because there was just too many yellows here. There was only a few blues. So I think we did manage to get a couple, but I did get nuked here. I think eventually I was just taking too much. I think I took the Templar beam there. So I had to respawn back at the nearest available keep or outpost. So like I said, I was still in the werewolf form, and I really thought, oh, it's going to drop off. And this is why I don't play werewolf as much, because I always think, oh, it's going to drop off. But to my surprise, I don't think it did drop off at all. As I said earlier, I managed to run all the way. And like I said, Orc is beneficial because you are going to move a lot quicker. I was wearing a lot of heavy armor as well, so it's nice to still move quite quickly. So Orc is definitely best, in my personal opinion. You don't really want to go Nord, as it generates ultimate, which you can't do in werewolf form. So as you can see, there was an Ebonheart camp here. So I thought, oh, finally there's actually some reds just to sort of try and throw it in the mix, as that's what I like about Cyrodiil, as there is three different teams. It's not just one team against another team, as it can get a little boring or one-sided. And I think that's one of the big problems with the battlegrounds at the moment, is that it can go very one-sided. And luckily, Cyrodiil still has the three teams, and that's what I like. It gives that uniqueness. So there's definitely some reds popping up now. So that's the first few reds I've actually probably seen. Like I said, there was a couple of groups, just not as many. I don't know why everyone was just on blue and uh, yellow. And also, there's another player that I forgot to mention, Adam Ladd, as well. I did see him. He's a really, really great PvPer. So yeah, he's another name I recognised from the YouTube scene as a YouTube content creator. So I managed to, I think I did secure a few more kills here. Like, 'cause it was definitely a mix of players, red players, yellow players, and some blue. Um, don't know if I actually got that kill there. No, I don't think I did. Again, I was just being targeted from range. And when you're playing Werewolf and you're getting hit with any sort of ganking, it really, really hits super, super hard. So it's important to try and be as tanky as possible, but still retaining some damage. It's very hard to get a good balance with Werewolf. You're very limited just to the one bar. But that's not to say you can't make a great build. It's just a bit difficult. So I did see Adam Ladd there. I didn't want to attack him. And it probably would have been pointless anyway, as he would have completely nuked me. So I just sort of done more of a sort of a greeting there and just thought, well, he's probably seen me. So yeah, I'm not going to try and attack Adam Ladd. I have previously in the past, and it just to absolute no avail anyway. It doesn't matter what I'm on, he's probably not going to go down. He always runs super low health, yet he's still super, super tanky with those shields. So yeah, so there's a couple of reds there. I didn't want to attack the red team as much because there just wasn't as many red players, but obviously they had other ideas, and I was just getting hit by two players here, really, really ranged play as well, which was really hitting me big time. So, but I thought I wanted to stay a little bit longer and just see how long I could hold on. But I was just taking too much abuse. So yeah, definitely a lot of fun though. Just everyone just going at it was absolutely crazy. I don't know why I was the only blue one left here. I just thought I just sort of broke away from the sort of the main Zergin and just wanted to try and sort of challenge people, but in this instance, I think I just got totally destroyed with those crazy Templar beams. I think it was a Templar beam, looked like the Radiant Glory. So I had to again respawn, but luckily there was a camp. So again, all the yellows are sort of pressing in a little bit now, but luckily there's still quite a lot of blue players to support me as well. So just trying to go to work on some players here. That one was definitely feeling the pressure, backing up into the group. So again, there was a little blue group here. Just the odd yellows coming in far too close. I managed to secure a kill there. But yeah, there was definitely a lot of familiar faces and names I recognised. I don't recognise everyone because, like I said, I'm on PC, but I'm not sort of a huge player on PC, and I'm sort of fairly new, so I don't recognise all the names. There probably is, like I said, some names that I've missed. But yeah, there was definitely some recognizable YouTubers here. Massive, massive yellow group here was just in some insane hills. It was just really, really hard to punch through anyone at all. And I just got completely nuked there by a comet and again the radiant oppression. So that's what I would say of take of note, is that there was definitely a lot of Templars. And to be honest, I think Templar is in a really great spot right now. I don't think it gets a good rap, but he's very, very strong. That execute just completely carries that class, and the heals are just super, super strong. So definitely a lot of Templars and a lot of Wardens I see. I don't think I even remember seeing any Necromancers. Unfortunately, you don't see them as much. You can make strong builds, but it's definitely a lot harder. And like I said, I did see some Werewolf players, but just not that many. But it was nice to see that I wasn't the only Werewolf. Like I said, I didn't intend to go in as a werewolf. It's just what I had at the time, and I wasn't totally prepared. I just had to just quickly chuck this on, but it's still a solid werewolf build overall. very, very difficult as long as you sort of play to its strengths and you can make a fairly strong and balanced werewolf build. But again, when you're up against other classes, it's definitely very difficult indeed. So yeah, so a couple more yellows here. Just trying to go to work on them, but again, they seem to be all just sticking to the group, massive group at the door. So I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to jump straight in. I don't think I was planning on getting a kill there, so it's trying to escape back to my group. Luckily, I managed to do with the hills. I thought I'd just stay back a little bit there. I did notice there was some back on the tower, so I think I did go back up there. Yep, so there's just a couple of players here, and this is where I did see a fellow werewolf player, which I was quite pleased to see. So 2 werewolves. I did fight a werewolf as well at one point. I think it was at one point I was actually fighting another werewolf. I don't know what they was rocking. But definitely a couple. Yep, that was the enemy werewolf that was here yet. So a red werewolf player, Ericsson. I think I do recognise the name as well. Again, a very good werewolf player there. Definitely taking a lot of abuse, just like I was, but he was managing to hold on. So there was a group of reds, but again, I didn't want to just target the reds because the reds were less players. So the yellows were definitely the most. I be the ninja there, definitely another YouTube content creator there. So yeah, but I must have gone back up and attacked the reds anyway, as I think they were just attacking. So I just basically joined in, just trying to whittle them down. I'm not sure why they was on siege, because I don't think anyone was trying to directly attack the keeps themselves. So I just thought I would go to work on a couple of the players up here. I was putting pressure on that player. I don't know how I managed to not secure that kill there, but I didn't actually get it. So yeah, there just wasn't, unfortunately, enough red players to balance it out. So there wasn't a lot of sort of balance. Eden Prime there's another well-known content creator. So yeah, I mean, it was definitely a lot of fun overall, guys. I did really enjoy it, and like I said, as you can see from the entire clip, I think the performance was okay. I mean, like I said, it wasn't perfect. It's never gonna be perfect, but like I said, there was a lot of players, and normally, my personal opinion is when I play on Xbox EU, when there's this level of players, it's definitely lagging. And like I said, it wasn't really lagging. Like I said, there was just a couple of things here and there. But overall, there just wasn't anything of note that really like stopped me. I didn't get booted. You know, it didn't lock out or anything. So yeah, overall, it was fairly good. But like I said, even though there was a lot of players, there wasn't a huge amount of players. It was just a lot, but not probably, it wasn't capped like the campaigns or anything. So yeah, I think I'll leave it there, guys. It's been a long video, a long one indeed. But like I said, I've included a build as well. So I hope you enjoy it, guys. Definitely a very strong werewolf build. So hope you enjoy it, guys. Drop the video a like if you're still here. It's been quite a long one. And subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I do lots of builds and guides and tip videos, commentary videos. I do all sorts of stuff. You never know what I'm going to drop. I've got some more builds in the pipeline as well. And I will see you in the next video.